and welcome to my channel where I make dishes inspired by some of my favorite video game characters. Today's dish is inspired by Rydia from Final Fantasy IV. I've just recently been playing all of the first Final Fantasy games through the Pixel Remaster, which I've been absolutely loving. Out of all 6, the only game I had played before was the first Final Fantasy, so it's nice to finally experience this handful of games that started off one of my favorite series. I was especially excited for 4 and 6 since I hear a lot of good things about them, and often see people say that they are their favorite Final Fantasies. Final Fantasy IV is immediately intriguing and lets you know pretty early on that there's a lot more story and character development in the games now, which is an extremely welcomed change. My favorite character from 4 throughout my whole experience was definitely Rydia. We meet her as an adorable little child, and can I just say she has such a cute pixel sprite. We meet her in a really horrible experience as her home village of Mist is burnt down, and she loses her dear mother in the damage. Our protagonist, Cecil, has a change of heart and lets her know that he is no longer with the ones who burnt her village, but understandably, she finds it hard to trust him. I appreciate that she has a realistic reaction to someone who is ultimately at least partly responsible for her mother's death. Once she realizes that it's in her best interest to side with Cecil, she joins him hesitantly, and I love another part of her character development we get. Since she is a child, she starts from an extremely low level and is very weak, which, makes a lot of sense. Art imitates life. If you're like me, you'll be rooting for her and wanting to protect her constantly until she is run off the boat and lost to the sea. There was a small spoiler to me because I was like, wait, she's gone? But she's not even her older version that I always see. So I knew she would come back, and somehow time would pass. Sure enough, we meet her after she has aged considerably due to being in the land of summons where the time flows differently. She's just as cute as always, and even cooler and more powerful than she was. She remains a constant and reliable party member, and if your file is like mine, she'll be pretty much your strongest party member due to her summons and magic spells. Her charming personality and resilience is as unforgettable as her extremely green character design, and I'm so happy to say I finally experienced Final Fantasy IV and have been able to get to know Rydia. I feel like she would not only be an amazing battle ally, but a wonderful friend. I already mentioned her unforgettable green character design, and I know it's probably pretty obvious, but I feel like a dish with rich matcha would be perfect. I don't think matcha fits just because it's green like her, but also because of its strong yet gentle taste and how it pairs well with so many different desserts, or summons. I also knew one important aspect of the dish was to make sure it was cold and wouldn't require much heat, if any. As she says, I hate fire, and so I don't think she would prefer something that required a lot of heat or flame to make. It's a small detail, but I also really wanted to add some raspberry due to her red clip on her hair. Its sourness pairs so well with soothing matcha, but also calls to some of her more energetic and spunky thoughts and actions. All in all, I decided on a matcha ice cream parfait full of cold temperatures, variety in textures, and memorable flavors that will totally feel as magical and epic as your time playing Final Fantasy IV. Here's what you'll need to make your own. You're gonna need some matcha ice cream for this parfait, and so you can go about it 2 ways. You can buy some from the store, or you can make your own if you'd like and are able. If you're making your own matcha ice cream, you'll need granulated sugar, milk powder, xanthan gum, light corn syrup, whole milk, heavy cream, matcha powder, vanilla extract, and some zest and juice from 2 oranges. For the parfait itself, you'll need the already mentioned matcha ice cream, as well as frosted flakes, white chocolate chips, whipped cream, raspberries, optional mint leaves, and more matcha powder. To start our own matcha ice cream, we'll need to start on the base about a day in advance if you can. The minimum is around 9 hours in advance to have enough time for the base to rest and the finished ice cream to freeze and firm up. To start, you'll add a half cup of granulated sugar into a small bowl with 2 tablespoons of milk powder and a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. You'll whisk all 3 until they're well dispersed, and then you'll grab a small saucepan. Into the saucepan, you'll pour in 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup and 1 1/3 cups of whole milk. You'll now whisk these 2 until more smooth, and then you can add in the sugar mixture. You'll once again whisk, somewhat vigorously, to combine everything, and then you'll start heating the saucepan on medium heat. I know, I said we were going to limit the amount of heat since Rydia hates fire, but we won't be here long, I promise. We only need to summon Ifrit for 3 minutes to heat up this mixture, which should be just enough time for this sugar to start to dissolve and the mixture to become warm but not hot. Maybe she could force Edge to do this part for her? So after about 3 minutes of warming, we'll remove the pan from the heat and add in 1 1/3 cup of heavy cream. Whisk everything together until the cream is well incorporated, and then you can pour all of the milky goodness into an airtight container. You'll stick this container into your fridge to rest for at least 24 hours, but the more the better, up to around 3 days. At this point, you'll have plenty of time to chill out, which may seem like several hours in our time, but will likely feel like a year in Cave of Summons time. I came back to my base the next day, but whenever your base has sufficiently chilled, you'll grab it out of the fridge. If you have an immersion blender, great, you can keep your base in its current container, but if you don't, you'll need to pour the base into a blender. Into the blender with the base, you'll add in 2 teaspoons of matcha powder, then summon Titan to blend on low speed until the mix becomes well combined. With the matcha now incorporated, you'll stick the base into the fridge to rest and allow the matcha to rehydrate for about 5 minutes. This 5 minutes gives us a good amount of time to prep the oranges. You'll need a 1/4 teaspoon of orange zest, which is a little less than 1 whole orange, and then you'll need a 1/2 cup of orange juice, which is about the juice of 2 oranges. Again, this should take around 5 minutes, but once at least 5 minutes have passed with your base in the fridge, you can remove it from the fridge and then add in a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and all of your collected orange zest and juice. Stir these 3 into your base until well incorporated and combined, and then we're ready to churn. Grab an ice cream machine and pour in the ice cream base. You'll summon Leviathan to churn the ice cream for around 30 to 40 minutes until you see that the ice cream has a more firm yet soft texture. All we have to do then is transfer the ice cream into another clean, airtight container and then stick it into the freezer. You'll summon Shiva to chill out the ice cream for at least 3 hours to allow it to firm up. Feel free to set up a tent and relax now that all of the hard work is done. Once 3 hours have passed, we can start to assemble everything, so grab your best cup to serve a parfait. We'll start off with a small scoop of matcha ice cream at the bottom, and I just want to say that I actually had to leave for something a little early, so I had to take my ice cream out after about 2 hours, so it wasn't fully set yet, so that's why mine might seem a little soft here. Anyways, after your 1 scoop, you'll add in a mixed layer of frosted flakes, white chocolate chips, and some washed raspberries. You'll repeat this pattern 1 more time, as you'll add another small scoop of ice cream, then top it with another layer of frosted flakes, white chocolate, and raspberries. Next, you'll add 1 final scoop of matcha ice cream, and add a nice dollop of whipped cream. You'll add a few more raspberries, then sift a sprinkle of matcha powder on top for garnish. If desired, you can also garnish with some fresh mint leaves, and with that, you're all ready to enjoy. I love ice cream, and I also love matcha, and this was my first time having a mix of the two, and it was fantastic. I specifically love this recipe as it's so creamy yet refreshing, with that hint of citrus flavor. While the ice cream is certainly the star of the show, all of the elements are amazing in their own roles. The frosted flakes add a lovely crunch, the chocolate adds some richness, the raspberries add some sourness, and the whipped cream, matcha, and mint add a little extra airiness and mega flair. As you dig in, every single bite is special, and it's crazy how such a simple mix of ingredients can create such a complex and welcoming dessert. Rydia was still so young when she lost her mother in hometown of Mist, but she has so many fond memories to look back on. She's specifically fond of the look and smell of matcha, as she would frequently see her mother sitting at the kitchen table in the mornings, enjoying a cup as she watched Rydia play. Being a child, she wanted to be just like her mother, and even though her mother always told her that she's too young to like it, she always wanted to have a taste of the matcha. One day, when her mother left her cup unattended while doing some dishes, Rydia snuck a taste and spit it out immediately. "Blah," she would say, and her mother would just laugh and say, "I told you so." After years and years had passed while in the Cave of Summons, and after growing and maturing so much in a short period of time, she would one day meet at Castle Baron with her old party members, Cecil, Rosa, Kane, and Edge. As they were chatting, Rosa would offer everyone a cup of tea, and Rydia would feel brave enough to ask for a cup of matcha. Rosa would happily oblige, and once she came back with her cup, Rydia would take a ginger sip. She'd expect the bitter taste of grass that she remembered, but she'd be surprised to realize how much she had grown to love its earthy taste. She'd hug the cup a little closer to her with a smile, and in their free time after saving the world, she'd vow to enjoy this flavor in so many different ways, whether it meant making more drinks and lattes or cakes and sweet treats. Every time she'd indulge and make something new, she'd smile as she sat and enjoyed it at her own kitchen table, and she'd know that her mom was looking down on her, feeling proud of the woman she had become. The recipe card is in the video description if you'd like a more quick and concise version to give it a try. Like if you want a bite, subscribe for more geeky treats, and comment what foods Rydia reminds you of. Thanks for following along.